Hello everyone, I'm Roll and today I'm very excited because I'm gonna review and test a new roller skate, Chuffed by HOQ collaboration skate. HOQ from Colombia, and if you don't know about this project, you can check it out online. But there are two of my favorite skaters behind it. It's like made by Carolina and Moon. Like they tried to make a really good skate, but which is still accessible and have a good price for some countries, like especially from South American countries. And I wanna start first with an unboxing to show you everything that is in the box. And later I will test them and I will give you my final feedback and a full review after trying them. You can see there's a little message here about the collaboration. Keep the flame alive. Yeah, the first impression is super quality. The box is really nice. I like the print on the inside. The skates come wrapped with these paper bags, yes. Like I don't see much plastic here, which is nice. They have this cardboard to separate them. This is the skate. I order the Brunny blocks with them. Usually they come without blocks, but you can order them from Chuffed shop already with the blocks if you want them. So you have a complete park setup. It's coming with a tool, which is really cool. You have for the kingpin. This one is for the stopper. This one is for the kingpin. And this one for the wheels. Wow, this is amazing. I'm gonna keep this one in my bag from now on for sure. Some tools here from the Brunny blocks. If you order them, you will get it too. These are the toggers. Like they are made of a different material. This is like vinyl leather. Seems like it's not real leather, but this one is sweat leather. So these are the brand new Chuffed by HOQ collaboration skate. They are called the Concrete Wanderer. Even if the skates look very similar to a lot of other brands, like the most traditional roller skate design, they have like quite some special features, as I can see. So the heel, it is like 4 centimeters high, and it comes with the traditional lace hooks on the last 3 of them, so you can just lace them a little bit like faster and then lace them faster as well, and you can have a little bit more of pulling. What is very interesting is like this kind of V-cut on the rear. So it's the same lining material coming out a little bit farther from the edge, but there's not much padding on the inside, but it should give you a little bit of like flex and support and a little bit more of comfort. I'm very surprised and very like, it's a good surprise for me, like the skates don't have much padding. So this is what will separate them from the cheaper range roller skates, where usually they come with a lot of padding. So it means like they feel comfortable in the beginning, but you lose a lot of power transfer and control of your skate. So this is really good. It looks very firm. So basically there's a little bit of padding around the heel to avoid the heel lift and lock the heel down the skate, but I really want to test this. As I learned from the website, they have 4 levels of stiffness of the boots, which is like also related to support and protection of the skate, of your foot basically. And this one is number 3. So it's like not the softest, but not the hardest. And to be honest, like this part feels very, very strong, so your toes are very protected. The sides are quite hard, and the area of the heel is quite hard as well, but here is a little bit softer. On the inside there is like this nice print, like red and pink, and on the outside is just gray, this concrete gray. On the tongue there are the eyes, the chopped eyes, which I really like. There is a loop here to avoid the tongue to come from the side, to move to the sides. The laces, they feel like regular laces, flat laces. And what I'm surprised, like the bottom is super solid. It's like very, very hard plastic. So this is also a difference compared to other roller skates that have a plastic sole, but this one is like super, super strong. So the fixation is really, really strong. I will check this after testing them, but it feels really strong. I'm very surprised about this. The plate is made of aluminum, And what is very interesting is like the toe stop is adjustable. So it means like if you lose this nut, then you can adjust up and down the stopper. This one of the most important features in a roller skate. When a roller skate comes with a fixed toe stopper, it's basically a beginner skate because you cannot really adjust as far, and sometimes you cannot even find replacements that easy. So these are good quality toe stopper and a good quality plate. It's a little bit heavy, but it means also it's very strong and it will not break easily, at least. The wheels are 54mm 99A, and they have these rounded profiles, so it sounds, at least on paper, like as a very good balance of an outdoor wheel that can be used for skating around, but for park. So I'm very curious to test it. And finally, yeah, it comes with the Brunny blocks. These have become everyone's favorite blocks, so I'm really excited to finally try them. I'm very surprised about how really like they follow the shape of their wheels like super close. So there are no gaps between the tracks and the sliders, so everything is really well protected and they are quite wide. So yeah, looking forward to test this. The tracks on the plates are 10 degrees, so it means these are compatible with like all the most popular tracks in the market, like Pennies, the old CIBs, HOQ and Chuffed tracks, of course. Also I think the new Brunny ones. That's it. This is the Chuffed by HOQ collaboration skate, the Concrete Wanderer, and now it's time to test them. Alright, so I arrived to the skate park. It's 2:30, so most people is leaving, and hopefully I can skate here because usually in the weekends it's extremely busy. Today will be a very quick testing, just trying the skates as they are stock, with the narrow tracks and the wheels that come stock. And yeah, I'm very interested to see how the sliders feel, how the boot feels. And yes, this is finally the day I will skate a high heel skate. So let's see how it goes. First things first, I want to adjust the stopper because it's pretty low. I'm a little bit concerned about this system. I know this is the same as the Sunlight and other plates, but yeah, I'm worried. I want to see if it gets loose or if it stays in place. I'm gonna put it all the way up. I'm gonna put the laces through this loop on the tongue. I think this will help like keeping the tongue in place while skating, hopefully. But the sizing is good. These are size 9 for Chuffed, and usually on Converse, for example, I am a 9.5, and in other brands I am a 10, but on Chuffed I am a 9. So just keep in mind for the sizing, but the size is perfect. Like the length is perfect. On the sides it feels a little bit narrow, but I would say like more like a tight fit, not like pain, at least not right now. I know there are many ways to use the laces with these hooks, like many styles to lace, but I will do the regular one today, or at least now. I'm not pretending to be an expert on the lacing things on this kind of boot, so just from down up. But I know you usually go with this one first, and the last one will be this one for the best fit. But well, I have the skates on. This is how they look from the top. Actually, they look really nice. They are not bulky. To be fair, I think I'm gonna fall with these boots. They are so different. Well, let's find out. And now you're about to witness first time skating high heel skates. Actually, one time, like, I borrowed some jack tools and I skated for like 5 minutes of blade income. Whoa, these things are so high. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's not the best idea to film a video trying them for the first time. But well, that's what the review is about, isn't it? I hope it can help some people who never tried these skates. So far they are not uncomfortable. They are actually I don't think they are tight on the sides now. And I feel a bit high for sure. First ramp. The wheels are hard. They are harder than I thought, which is it's not a bad thing. I think one of my trucks is going to the side, so I'm gonna try to fix that. Maybe just check the kingpin and all this, and then I will warm up and I will film again to see how the skates feel. All right. I am ready to deliver my first impressions of the skates. The boot is extremely comfortable. I'm very surprised. I don't have any pressure and they feel very supportive. Even if they are the number 3 stiffness, I was expecting them to feel maybe floppy or a little bit like unsupportive, especially on the heel area. But they are not. Like, I feel super secure, like confident, and that's the thing. Like, they are supportive, but without being like too stiff or having any pain on the ankles or anything. It's very impressive. I'm very happy with the boots. Actually, something I could totally skate. The amount of padding is perfect. They are not bulky skates and they are comfortable. So this is the right amount of padding on the right place. And the high heels, I'm also very surprised because I feel very comfortable on them. I don't feel like falling forward. And on the ball, like for carving, they feel amazing. So yeah, this is really, really good. I'm very impressed with that. And then there are a few things that are bothering me. The two biggest things that I feel very different from my usual setup is the stoppers. Like, even if I put the toe stoppers all the way up, they still feel too low, especially because of the wheels are 54 millimeters, so are very small. So the angle is a lot lower than I'm used to, so I cannot put much pressure on them, but they are working well. The surface is good. I've been trying some toe stop stalls and things like this, and I just need to get used to this different angle. And the biggest difference for me is the sliders. Actually, the Brunnies, they feel like very fast, but I'm having some problems on transitions because the wheelbase is so large and the wheels are so small. Like, my sliders are touching on off occasions, basically. When I go down on a bank, I can feel my sliders touching the corners. Also, when I'm skating the waves, I will show you in detail, like I can totally feel my sliders touching the floor. And this is a bit weird. But I think this is a combination of the size of the skate and the plate, obviously, and the size of the wheels. So with slightly bigger wheels, this will be sorted for sure. And you have a smaller size, which is like all of the woman sizes, I'm sure you will not have this problem at all. And also the shape of the sliders is very different from what I'm used to. So I can do front sides on everywhere. It's amazing, like they slide super fast, my wheels are not touching, no wheel bite at all. Yeah, it's a very different shape. I feel like I'm standing straight, I cannot really control that much, but that's the good thing about these sliders. They are perfect for front sides and back sides, and for everything else I need to get used to them. And finally, what I'm very surprised is like on this setup, the tracks are narrow, which is not a problem. I think it's good for any sort of skaters because they can always switch to wider tracks if they want. But the kimping ends farther than the trucks, which means you cannot grind on this setup at all. And the weird thing is like the nut of the kingpins is exactly at the same level as the sliders. So if the sliders will be a little bit like lower, like ending a little bit farther from the kimping, you could actually do 50-50s and grinds touching with the slider, but you cannot because it's right there. So it depends on how you put the weight. You can kind of lock the trick, but as soon as you start moving, the kimping nut touches and you are stopped. So that's still a bit like a missing chance, I guess, because just by very little, if the slider would have been like lower, you could totally do every trick with this setup. But it's okay, it's what it is. The setup, this skate is supposed to be accessible for people, especially addressing beginners. So having the small wheels, it means you can progress and try every trick and learn every stall and things like this. And later, obviously, you can change to the wider tracks by Chuffed or other brands. Okay, let's see if I can film something. I can show you something, what I'm doing, show you how the skate looks. I really like how the skate looks. I was expecting to look a little bit funny, but I really like them when I look down. It's not just the color, but the shape. So yeah, I'm gonna try to film something, okay? Backside Unity on a ledge, are you kidding me? Felt so easy. I'm sure with wide tracks it will not be the same, but like this is amazing. Okay, I'm freaking out now. I tried this super long ledge, like I could never even try to do frontside before, and I did the whole thing from first try. So I hope I can film it now. But yeah, these slides are something. So in some obstacles I can grind, but in other obstacles I cannot grind at all, so I'm not sure. But nevertheless, it was really fun. Wow, these skates are good. Actually, I'm very surprised about the wheels. They slide super nice. But yeah, that was the first testing with the stock skates. And now I'm looking forward to mount the Last Supper wheels and the wider tracks. So today is the second time I'm testing the Chuffed Concrete Wanderers by HOQ, and I kept exactly the same as before, but I just mounted the slightly wider Chuffed by Brunny tracks. I kept the Brunny sliders, and I mounted the Last Supper Amigo 55mm wheels and some Kaya toe stoppers I had. So yeah, now this is more like my usual setup with wider tracks. And yeah, after the good impressions of the boot on the first day, I wanna try more tricks today and see how everything feels together. Something important to note is like the mounting of the trucks on the stock plates is like super easy, no problem at all. Like same bushing, same everything, just remove the stock aluminum trucks and put the narrow ones and just mount the wider ones. Everything fits perfectly. Also with the Brunny sliders, so you don't have to worry about this at all if you order them. Situations in bowls, in rails, lettuce, on streets, on park, and yeah, I think I'm ready to give you my overall conclusions about the skate. So for full disclosure, like this is not a sponsored video, I wasn't told like what to say or anything like that, so I will just give you my feedback on the skates. Even though I didn't bill full price, still this is like my unbiased and honest opinion, alright? I tested it in two different ways, like this stock one. Also, I have a stopper here. So that will be the stock trucks and wheels, and this is like the upgraded maybe setup. Both have the Brunny blocks, but this one have the Brunny by itself. 275 trucks, Last Supper wheels, and some Kaya stoppers. I have the plate is the same, it's the aluminum Chuffed plate that comes in stock. Yeah, it is quite a different skate, as you can see here already. This is a lot lower. The sliders were touching sometimes when I was skating. I thought that was because of the size of the wheels. These are 54 millimeters. But actually it's because of the shape of the trucks. These trucks are very, very low, and that's the thing, like compared with the regular Chuffed trucks, you can see these are a lot higher. So first I want to comment on the stock version. That's what you can get if you buy the whole package. I just included the extra sliders, and this is the stopper that is included in the skate. And what I can say is like, yeah, the trucks being so low, it is a very fun setup actually. I felt very confident, and for me switching from a flat boot into a high heel skate, I didn't feel that much of a difference, and now I realize it was because of the trucks being so low, so I felt more connected to the ground. The plate feels super solid. No complaints about the plate. Also, it has quite large wheelbase, which is this, which means it is very stable, and you have a lot of sliding space if you go for a slider block like this one. And also, like the height of the stopper, even if it's adjustable, of course, it is quite good. Like I was comparing this to my other setup with the Chuffed boots and the Sunlight, and it is a quite similar feeling, but the Sunlight is even longer. I think I like this wheelbase better. And on the Sunlight, the stoppers are a lot higher. So I also like this level for the stopper actually better. The wheels are super fun. They are very small and they are very hard. I didn't know what to expect from the stock wheels, to be honest, but I liked them. Like, they are good for slides, for grinds. And for wheel slides on the floor, I was doing some of them like on the first session, so I was pretty impressed by these wheels. And about the stopper, is a little bit smaller than what I'm used to. Like you can see the surface compared to the Kayama, for example. It's a little bit smaller, but it does the job. It's a good quality stopper. I felt it has like some good grip, and yeah, it worked. Like the only thing I could notice, like it's wearing down quite fast for just a couple of sessions with it. But yeah, it's not breaking or anything, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with it as well. And yeah, of course, like stopper is something like very easy to replace. About this setup, the things I realized is like the tracks are narrow, of course. You have the option to buy it with a slider or not, that's totally up to you. But the thing is, the tracks, when they are narrow, with such a small wheels, you could actually lock tricks. But due to the kimping, like ending farther down the tracks, actually you are grinding with the kimping nuts, which of course is not great. I was really surprised because in some ledges I could actually grind like very comfortably, and they felt really nice. But on coopings, for example, I got stuck right away. So is this a setup for grinding? Probably not, like maybe in some cases, but it is actually a great setup to learn to lock tricks. So you can do stalls, definitely you can do slides. If you are starting with spark, with balls and things like this is actually a pretty nice setup. You're looking to upgrade your concrete wanderers. I'm using the Last Supper 55mm wheels, the 275 Chuffed Brunny trucks, I think they are called. They are a little bit wider than the 2.5. And the same slider and the Kaya stoppers. Actually, yeah, I didn't have much problem with this blade, like with the stopper getting loose as well as on the sunlight. On the sunlight, from my old setup, like the stopper is getting loose all the time. This one, like a couple of times maybe, but it stays better in place. And other than this, like the wheels, even though they are almost the same size, these are 55, these are 54. The profile is totally different, so this one has a little bit of a rounded on the outside, but it's not as much as this one, and more like a straight cut here, like a conical cut on the inside. So what I feel is like with these wheels you have a lot more space to grind. So like in a narrow track setup it helps, but also it can work with a wider track, for example, like everything like slides into the center. But this one helps a lot on coopings, for example. Like it helps a lot like holding the treat there, because you have more space, like something like a wall to lean on. And I was really surprised with these wheels. The quality is really amazing. Like they feel grippy, but at the same time they slide. These are made in the US, so you know the quality is really good. I think they are quite expensive, but I think the quality is really good. I'm very impressed by these wheels. The tracks just work really well. No complaints so far. So yeah, like the good thing about this skate, it feels a little bit of a basic setup, but it's really well thought because you have a strong plate, you have an adjustable stopper, you have a great boot, of course, you have good wheels for park and street, and then everything else you can really upgrade very easily because the tracks fit perfectly into this plate. You have all options to fit on this plate, like any 10-degree tracks. I haven't tried myself, but maybe you need like different pivot cups, things like this, but HOQ, CIB, all this kind of tracks will fit into it. You can fit the most popular sliders right now, which are Brunnies. Yeah, stoppers, they are compatible with any other brand out there, so if you buy this stock, it means like you can change every piece and upgrade over time later, which is something you cannot do with many roller skates right now. So now I want to talk briefly about the sizing. I know this is one of the main topics when people buy skates, and especially when they order online. On shoes I'm like 9.5 or a 10, it depends on the brand, which is a 43, 44 in Europe. I am a Mondo 275. So it's 275 millimeters, so I can use that reference for any brand, for any model. So in this case I took the 280 millimeters because you always have to a little bit extra, like 3-5 millimeters extra to your size, and they fit perfect. So bottom line, I'm using a size 9 and they fit absolutely perfect. Like no space, no tight, anything. So if you are usually a 43 or you are a Mondo 275, I recommend you to get the size 9. For example, on Kaya, this exact same length is a size 9.5. So that's why I mean like this is a little bit like you have to get one size smaller than you usually use. But just check the sizing on the sizing charts and you'll have no problems. Not only sizing, but I want to talk about the fitting. And again, like I didn't have any problems with the width or with the length. The width, it feels perfect. Like for my foot, I don't have a particularly wide or narrow foot, but I didn't have any problems, and also they don't move, so they feel like very snug, like a snug fit. The toe shape is pretty good, like the toe box is quite, it's not super wide, of course, it's very rounded. I would not say it's very pointy, so I feel I have enough space for my toes. I don't feel any pressure or anything like that. Also, like from the top, like some skates are very low. This is, I think, is a great balance of width and height. And yes, like for my personal experience, I didn't have any pain at all with this boot. Like right from the box, they felt amazing. So this is one of the most important things for me. I don't want to skate like a comfortable skate, doesn't matter how good it is. And another thing is the support. Like I was very impressed in the beginning with the support because for some reason I thought these skates would be like just regular recreational skates, like being a little bit soft, but they were actually quite stiff and very protected here. Like even if you hit hard, like it's really well protected on the sides and on the heel. I don't see any separation at all with the sole, which is also very important for our park setup. And my ankle, it feels good. It feels secure. I have some forward flex and backward flex, but I don't feel like unstable on the side, which is the main thing. They got already a little bit softer than on the first session, but in the level of like a little bit of extra comfort, I don't feel like any pressure points or pain on the sides or anything like this. So also there, I don't feel them floppy. So far this is very impressive. For me, like the level 3 firmness on Chuffed skates is like really perfect balance for park and street skating. Durability in this case is also related to the color of the boot, in my opinion, a little bit, because these ones, such as other skates in the market, is made out of sweat leather, real sweat leather. So also it means like they are not vegan. It also means like they are very durable in terms of scratches and things like this, and you can clean them, like you can brush away the dirt. There's a lot of tutorials online where you can find how to do that. But I wanted to show you especially this one. It's more dirty, I didn't clean it, because I wanted to show you how like I got a few falls obviously on the street and on balls, and I wanted to show you like these, usually the ugliest falls you get like with the wax and burn and on the ground and everything like this, but the dirt, it kind of matches, like it is integrated in the color, because like being gray, like you can see this one for example, like this one looks actually pretty good. I'm sure I can clean them almost like to look like new. So I think this is a great color for a skate that is supposed to last a long time, for people to upgrade. Like it's a kind of a basic park setup that you can upgrade over time, and you know, like with this color it also will look good over time. But even if the whole skate looks like darker and full of dirt, it will look pretty good because of the color, like the base color is already kind of medium gray. I didn't have any major falls on the toes, but I'm sure like over time you can get holes or scratches, things like this. That's why they include in the box the toe guards, like if you like this kind of thing. I like the skates to be more like this, like naked, like clean. Yeah, not just to worry about the durability, because the material looks pretty tough. And yeah, only this is something I was always worried about, high cut loops, and it's the fast lacing loops. They are really a little bit damaged already. So I know over time this can be a problem, like if you fall a lot you can bend them or you can break them, and then you need to make a hole or you need to replace them with rivets, things like this. Much more to say about durability because the inside is really well. Like I think the material on the inside is very comfortable. I didn't have any blisters, any red spots, anything like this. So before finishing the review, one of the things I wanted to mention is like when I saw the first time this model, I kind of didn't fully understand what the skate was about, because I saw Chuffed and HOQ promoting it as an accessible skate for the Latin American community, especially because you also have to know, like, when you buy this skate you are supporting HOQ's crew, and also like they are using these royalties or this kind of fee they get to lower the price in some countries like Latin America, like South America. And that's the thing, like when they presented the skate to me, I understood it was like one of these another recreational skates sold as a park setup. And when I was looking at the price, I saw like actually this is not that much affordable. There are other skates more affordable for these communities, but this is because I didn't really understood this is actually a park skate. So this was designed like to be durable and to be supportive. So when you look at this skate, don't compare it with, like, I don't know what to say, like Impalas or Kaya Melrose or Rio or all these kind of more entry-level skates. Actually you have to compare it with high-end skates like the HOQ and things like this. Like I cannot give you a full comparison between these and other high-end brands because I really didn't skate enough, like Rydell's and Moxie's, all this kind of thing to really break down what are the main differences. But what I can tell you is like the quality of this is really trying to reach that level. So that's why when they talk about to make an accessible skate, it's like to make a great quality skate at an accessible price. And I really think like they found a good balance between quality and price for this skate, because even the setup is quite basic. The plate, it is a lot better than other aluminum plates in stock skates. The wheels, they work great for park and street, and the stopper is adjustable, which is the main thing, and it is replaceable. And if you are looking to upgrade the setup, you can even do it when you order the skate from Chuffed online shop, or you can just buy it later. Like you can buy the sliders later, you can buy the wider tracks later, you can replace the wheels, the top stoppers obviously. Trying this skate, I changed my perception of the whole project and the selling point actually of the skate. I really like them. So I was very impressed, not just the comfort but the support. And the look, I really like the look, like it's like great matches with anything you can wear. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep skating them. And yeah, just also talk about the price. A complete setup with this stopper, obviously, and without the slider, so it's the stock setup you can buy for the Concrete Wanderer HOQ's Chuffed skate. The base setup is not a cheap skate. I think you can find other park skates around this price, but if you're looking for a high heel, durable and supportive skate, it's really competitive and really good, because if you think about the possibilities to upgrade this setup and the compatibility with other tracks and the plates and everything else, and the sliders, so it is really a good option. On top of this, like personally, I'm really happy to be skating Chuffed, because I really like what Sam and Sugu, who are the owners from Australia, are doing with the brand. You can see like in very few years they offer, like they progress a lot. They are offering a lot of improvements every time they release a skate, new pieces, new tracks, and they collaborate with other brands like Last Supper or Brunny. And also like I really like what Carolina and Alexandra are doing, like Moon and Caro from Colombia. Like if you never met them, like probably you see them everywhere, because they are two skaters that are related to many brands and events and things like this. But it's like they are super nice. Now they are amazing skaters, but I had the opportunity to meet them both last year at the Skate Love. And I'm really happy to support them by skating their skates. My final thought is like, yeah, these are great skates. They might not look like a park skate in the sense of they use the traditional roller skate silhouette and design, but it is a much tougher and well thought skate for park, since the owners of this brand of Chuffed are park skaters and they know what they are doing. So, and compared to other similar options in the market, it's quite affordable. And yes, if you're looking for a skate that you can use for different things, like skating around, do some dancing maybe, you can also adapt this skate, but especially for park, these are a great option. So hopefully I just cover everything. Like, there are other reviews on the way, like on my channel, like the TIA boots will be next, and also a comparison between the TIA Pro boots and the HOQ Concrete Wanderer skates, and also hopefully some reviews on the Brunny slider as well and the Last Supper wheels. But yeah, thank you for watching. If there is anything I missed or I forgot, please write it on the comments and I will try to answer. Also, if you try the sketch yourself, it's always good to comment what is your own experience for other people to learn about it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon. Peace.